Welcome, dear audience. Embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment with Elevate Your Business. The success is not just a destination, but a process where we're committed to guiding business owners, professionals, and future entrepreneurs through the labyrinth of success with sage advice from those who've reached the summit. Tune in for transformative insights that will shape your approach to business and life. Today's guest exemplifies this mission. So make yourself comfortable, unwind, and let's extend a hearty greeting to our incredible guest today, Ruth King. Ruth is a member of Abundance 360, along with being the CEO of Business Ventures Corporation. Her mission? Profoundly impact the lives and businesses of business owners by giving them the tools and processes to get and stay profitable, reach their goal, and give back. As Ruth joins us on the show, she'll shed light on what success means to her personally and how her definition has evolved over time, as well as one or two of her top challenges and the lessons learned associated with them. And finally, for today, we'll explore how Ruth has leveraged innovation in her business and other work to overcome challenges and achieve her goals. So join me in welcoming Ruth King as we embark on another incredible episode of Elevate Your Business. Without further ado, welcome to the show, Ruth. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Ed. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be on your show.
Oh, my pleasure, my honor. It's been an absolute joy meeting with people like yourself, incredible journeys. And I've met so many kindred spirits in the world of just trying to help people succeed in life and business. And it really is a journey of mutual hand-holding between business and life success. So to start with, could you share a little bit more about your business and yourself?
Well, my business has evolved also over the years. I started my first business when I was a kid, actually. And I'd always known that I'd wanted to have my own business. And so I started selling flowers out of our backyard, and I did that type of thing. And I did, obviously babysitting and things along those lines. But the first quote unquote formal business I started in 1981, and I still have that business today. So it's been a journey, and the use of technology has exploded over the years. So I can't wait to talk about that piece of it. And we've looked at and used technology, and now my business wouldn't be here without it. So I've actually had 7 businesses, I still have 7 businesses. And the startup of the 6th was the hardest one. And when you and I had the conversation before, where here you said, what are your challenges? And I just rolled my eyes in the back of my head. I mean, that's a pretty good one. But we made it. And that's the key. That's absolutely the key.
Awesome.
So.
There was one more part of your journey that I absolutely resonate with. I've never been able to take advantage of it myself. There's just something that's always got in the way. But Abundance 360, can you share with the audience a little bit about what that's about?
Oh, 360. We just came back from our summit, and there's about 360 of us worldwide. All of us have massive transformative purposes, and mine is, as you mentioned, to give business owners the tools and processes to get and stay profitable, build wealth, and significantly impact their lives and the lives of others. And that leads to my moonshot, which is to give business owners an actual tool to analyze their financial statements and impact 1 million business owners by 2030. And so all of us in that group have immense things that we want to do to change the world. And it is a phenomenal group of high-spirited, really focused, really energetic people who come together once a year from around the world. And so it's been an amazing group of individuals. I love it.
Absolutely. It makes sense to me. I've been following Peter Diamandis and his work for years. And of course, all of his Tony Robbins and his other partners and friends along that journey. Absolutely incredible. And for those that have not taken a look at it, go out there and take a look at Peter Diamandis and Future Loop. That's one of the daily journal series that I get from him. And it shows not just what's on people's minds, but some incredible solutions to worldwide problems that are in the beginning stages of being commercialized. These are real things out there that are just absolutely incredible. So I love it. I wish I could read more of it because I can't keep up with all the things going on out there with that.
Well, there's actually 4 things that we focus on. Obviously, we all have massive transformative purpose. We also focus on longevity, and everybody in that group says, at least publicly, that they want to live to at least 120, not in a wheelchair, babbling. And a lot of the things that are going on from the research and stuff like that actually help you do that. That's one. Exponential growth. How do we do exponential growth? And that's really, really important. Obviously, AI and technology is a critical path for it too. So, I mean, there are several things that we really do focus on as a group. And I think we're all committed. I mean, I can't go to next year's summit not having achieved my goals. And they're not little ones either.
Well, I hope to join you someday in that. And congratulations on that journey, because, like I said, I have a tremendous amount of respect for what Peter has done and what he's driving around the world and the people within that and what they're driving. So thank you for those contributions.
Oh, my pleasure.
As we're talking about, as we met and we've talked about our agenda, the first question is, how do you define success today?
It has totally changed, from when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, because think about it, when you're a kid, what do you want? You want money for this and money for that, money for, a bike or to go this or buy this or whatever. And that's how you define success. Do I have enough money to buy X? And then over the years, that absolutely has to change. I mean, I look at success right now as having the freedom to do what I want. And it's monetarily freedom. It's having the house that I absolutely want. I can go anywhere in the world I want to go and train and teach whenever I want to. I mean, that's success to me now. It's very different. Even, when I was in my 30s, because I was still building the business, and I hadn't realized at that point that time was more valuable than money. Now that I'm in my 60s, time to me is definitely more valuable than money. All right. And I'm pretty much financially free, but I don't have the time freedom. And so that's really, once I get that, that's total success at that point.
That's nirvana. And
Yeah.
you talked a little bit about how that definition has changed over time. And so for many of us, it is wealth focused, it's job focused, it's level focused, power focused. And as we evolve, there's a balance comes to that in how we live our lives, and alongside our business success, so it becomes part of the journey. Is that a fair way to kind of summarize where you've been through your journey?
It's a fair way to summarize it. And I will also add to it that part of that success is spending quality time with my daughter. She's now 34. And when she was 25, we started doing mother-daughter trips once a year for her birthday. And it was a birthday and Christmas present. And we've been all over the world. And I don't get to see her very often, but the amount of time that we spend together is really quality time. So it's not like we're sitting in front of a television watching TV together. I mean, we get to spend time together, and I cherish those, and my walls are covered with the pictures from that. So that's also success to me, spending time with her. So my husband passed away about 7 years ago. So that's done, unfortunately, but it's gone. But still spending the time with her is really important to me too. So that's part of success.
I absolutely agree. I work out with my sons every Friday afternoon and still try to bring them on vacations and trips, because that's where I can really spend that intense quality time.
Quality at that point. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the fun thing. And, what else do you give a 34-year-old other than really cool memories?
Yeah.
Both of us, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So through your journey, and you've kind of alluded to this, there's always challenges. It's never an easy journey. It's never a straight line to where we want to get to. What are one or two of your key challenges and the associated lessons learned?
All right. So it also involves with technology too at the same time. So back in the late 90s, we were using basically like dial-up phone to be able to produce videos, and people could watch them on their computers, that type of thing. And I won't go into the total technical piece of it, but we had a program and a proposal out to somebody who was going to fund it to the tune of about $1.5 million. I had a partner, and I had put about $500,000 of my own money into it. And they called one day and said, project's off. It's like, so it was shocking. It was, not what I had anticipated. So I went outside of my office and sat on the curb and cried. And my father's voice came into my head: pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going. So we spent the last, probably, I can't remember how little on my credit cards to be able to start it up. And we started it January 7th of 2001 with 13 viewers. And it's still going today. Wow. I mean, it was not anything, and I figured if I can survive through that horrific experience, you can basically do anything. Well, that was the business side. And then my first Boston Marathon was the personal side. It was awful. I made it, but it was the hardest thing physically that I've ever done. So I guess I have the business side challenge that I overcome and the personal side challenge that I've overcome. And so, I mean, I look at things now and go, okay, was it as bad as that was? No.
Yeah.
And, I think once you get through a lot of that, you get through the knowledge and the knowing that you can do it. And, whatever hits you, you can do it. And you just, at that point, going through it and going through those horrific experiences, you say, okay, I can do just about anything I put my mind to it. Yes, there's going to be crap that comes along, excuse me for saying it that way, but there also is going to be the thing at the end of the tunnel too. At some point, the light at the end of the tunnel is not a train headlight anymore. It's actually the goal.
Yeah. I use a similar approach when things start to get really challenging is try to look around the world and see the challenges that they've got. We really do live in a country. It's got its challenges, there's no doubt, but there is the ability to achieve that dream. And a lot of us choose the path of entrepreneurship, of business ownership to get there. And it's not an easy path, but being allowed to do that, just that is so much grander than so many people around the world. So,
yeah. I mean, a lot of the A360 members are from very third world type countries, and their stories are absolutely phenomenal and how they've overcome those types of challenges to get where they are. And, part of my thing is always giving back, but part of their thing now is truly giving back because they've clawed their way up. And some of the stories are just frigging amazing. I mean, we don't have time to go through a lot of them, but it's just what they've overcome and what they've achieved and the ability that they have to be gracious and to give back and to, make the world a better place. We're in the US, they're in Mexico, they're in Nicaragua, they're in all these places that I wouldn't want to live. Okay.
So perspective and empathy, I think, are two of the most powerful traits in helping us understand. And then something you mentioned earlier, keep moving forward. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward.
Yeah, keep going. That can't tell you how many times that little voice has come in the back of my head. Remember my father. It's like, yes, Daddy.
Yeah, I get it 100%. And so you also mentioned technology and innovation. And we're talking a little bit before we started the podcast, and boy, has that been a journey over the last 40 years. Share a little bit about where you're at with technology.
So we've gone from almost dial-up, being able to actually do video on the internet, to using AI to analyze financial statements. I mean, and that is a huge journey. Back in the day, I mean, we were looking at putting together, I can't even remember what it was, but right now we have FaceTime. I mean, that was a dream back then, and it was just something that we couldn't use. And I remember getting my first iPhone, and I had a BlackBerry for years and years and years. And my daughter FaceTimed me. And, it was just really funny because, oh my gosh, we could never do that. And so we use the technology, but we also look at it from a perspective of what can we use AI as a tool? I mean, I truly think that AI is and we can debate this if you'd like, but I think AI is a tool that's going to help us achieve even more. I don't think it's going to, and maybe I'm wrong, but we had the great AI debate at A360. And I think the consensus was it's a great tool. Let's use it as a great tool. We do have to watch some of the bad guys out there, but that's true no matter what we have. But we're using technology now, not only to just do the things that we do from a training perspective. I mean, back in the day, all the training that I did had to be classroom. Now I have a lot of things that are online, which has been able to multiply me, but then people can log on to take classes that I, don't have to teach live anymore. I mean, how many people can you put in a live classroom? And then now we have the ability to read financial statements. And I mean, then the joke is that I become superfluous simply because you now upload a P&L, it reads it, it tells you what's wrong with it, or telling you what's wrong with it is coming by the end of the year, and then compares you to everybody else is coming next February. So it's like, I don't have to be around anymore. Upload your financial statements, less than 10 minutes a month. Figure it out. It'll tell you what to do. So that's where technology is going for me. And it's just, most people hopefully will do it and use it to do good for the world, not necessarily bad for the world.
Yeah, there is a large contingent out there that has a concern and a growing concern over what AI could mean relative to jobs, relative to security, and things like that. And I think those challenges are warranted. And I actually question how our public leaders are actually facilitating that shift versus
They're
leaving.
not. I can guarantee you they're not, because we had two. One was the mayor of Vancouver and one was a US senator, and I will not say who. But he said, we get no phone calls from anybody about AI. And since nobody is calling about it, we're not spending any time on it. Now, it's going to take something to happen before they're going to do something about it. But I look at it as something that is, we went through the Industrial Revolution, farmers lost their jobs. We're now going through the information age. People are going to lose their jobs, but they're going to find other things that they can do. And there's nothing greater than entrepreneurship. Go start a business, go make money.
I think those are definite options. To that end, and you mentioned Abundance 360, I read something, it was probably 6, 8 weeks ago, that I got from Abundance 360 relative to the risk side of AI. And in there, it talks about the fact that 300 million job families are going to be eliminated around the world within the next 10 years. And right here in the United States,
Yep.
70% of all jobs and job families are going to be replaced in some form or fashion. My concern with this is the speed in which the skills in which people need to perform in those new roles. Just this morning, I was reading an article, and if I interpreted it correctly, I'm looking at, we had a slight increase in the number of available jobs out there. That's really great news. It shows there's a strong economy. But over here, we had 1.6 or whatever million jobs that were eliminated in the tech and the finance industries. So what you just told me is that there's a lot of lower paying jobs while the higher paying jobs are getting replaced. And so I do have concerns. I'm a huge fan of AI. We can't live without it today as business owners, as almost anybody. I couldn't perform my role, run my business without it. But at the same time, I think there are some larger concerns out there that are not being appropriately addressed. So from an audience perspective, my guidance is don't stop your skill upgrading. Don't stop building new experiences, exposing yourself, building relationships, because over this next several years, it is going to create some significant challenges.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that's really kind of cool is one of my colleagues is a company that does learning. You can do it VR, you can do it traditional, you can do it whatever else it is. And they had Walmart approach them about an inner city area in one of the cities in the US to train them how to become heating and air conditioning techs. And they did it through this training, which is all done where kids are on the games that they play. So they enjoyed it, they did it, and they turned out some really good techs. So, I mean, it's also very, very positive from that standpoint because we can find places to use it. And that was AI driven, to be able to say, okay, you've been in the inner city for so long, you haven't been, hugely productive. Would you like to get a career path in air conditioning or in heating or whatever else it is? And I'm also part of another group. It's called YEA, YEA, Young Entrepreneurs Association. And we take kids all around the country, different economics, everything else like that. And we teach them about business, and we teach them how to write a business plan, and we teach them how to ask for funding and how to present. And if we can take the kids and get them at that point, I mean, the 80-year-olds, no offense, there's not a whole lot we can do there. But we can do a lot with the kids because they are the future of this world. And if we can get them so that they understand and are productive and profitable and use AI as a tool and that kind of thing, we have a really good hope of this world being really cool.
Yeah. And I believe it's people like yourself and others that are out there trying to leverage these capabilities to help other people that's going to be a huge component getting through this next revolution,
Yep.
because that's really what it is. It's going to be a revolution in change that's going to come faster and stronger than anything. I've been in tech since the mid 1990s in one form or another. And this is the first time, I mean, 18 months ago, AI was a conversation out here. It was developing very thin, narrow applications. And all of a sudden, it's everywhere, on every computer, on every phone. And every enablement and every business that's really seen that future is going, I'm using this. So all of your application software is now being AI enabled. It's also being enabled on the back end, on the infrastructure and the network. So it's here, it's going, it's growing, it's here to stay. But it really does mean that people have to take responsibility for their own learning and growth. And then to your point, there are some amazing tools out there that really help speed that skill building at rates that are unprecedented compared to the more traditional.
They have to want to do it, though. That's the key.
I agree with that too, 100%.
If you sit back and you just go, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, go do something about it. Go take a class, go start learning it, go figure out what you can do with it. And you'd be surprised what you can do with it. And that's the fun part.
Absolutely. So if there was one final takeaway for our audience, what would that be?
Don't be afraid to take a challenge. Don't be afraid to jump in with both feet. You might get burned, but you might actually get something really cool that comes out the back end. And if the really bad stuff happens, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going.
Keep moving forward. Outstanding. Well, thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us today, and a special thank you to our incredible guest, Ruth King, for sharing her insights, experiences, and success tactics with us. We hope this conversation has left you inspired and motivated to embrace the challenges of entrepreneurship with vigor, innovation, and adaptability. Remember, success comes in many forms, and it's essential to define it for yourself. Take the lessons shared by Ruth to heart as you navigate your own entrepreneurial journey. Embrace change, seek out opportunities for growth, and always be willing to adapt to the ever-evolving landscape of business. Thank you once again to our phenomenal guest speaker, Ruth King, and thank you all for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next time as we continue exploring the stories behind incredible entrepreneurs. Stay resilient and stay innovative, everyone. Have a wonderful week.